Hi, let's get sewing this easy quilt-as-you-go coaster. I'm going to take you overhead as I kick off my shoes, and we're just going to get started. Now, I'm just pre-cutting strips of scrap fabric that I have in my stash, and I'm going to use my iron and foam. Now, you can always use fusible fleece or batting from a quilt, anything you have got sitting around. You can even use canvas if you so desire. So first up, I need to flatten out these strips. This is a very sort of no rules fun, so I like to do these kinds of projects when I'm trying to get my sojo back. They always work for me. So here we go. And I will have Ram fast forward some of this so that you're not bored or anything. I just don't want to leave out any crucial information in case you've never done a project like this. It can help a lot to get some starch, or even if it's just water, if you have any leftover, can I say this? If you have any leftover vodka in your liquor cabinet, you can mix it with water and spray it on, and it works the same. That is potato starch. So it absolutely works. It will smell like a liquor store, but you know, to each their own. The strips don't have to be cut perfectly. If that bugs you, you can always come in with an acrylic ruler and straighten them out. Okay, let's start with the smallest strip. And I'm going to cheat and use a little 505 just on that strip. And I'm going to lay it so that the right side is facing up. Now next, I'm going to lay this strip right sides together, matching that edge. Then I'm going to take you to the sewing machine. Oh, I forgot to check. Yeah, that camera's good. And we're just going to come in here and start sewing. Now I have mine on a 2.5 millimeter stitch length. And once you're off the foam or the fleece, you can just stop sewing. You don't have to lock stitch unless your machine requires you to do that. Now I'm going to flip this over, finger press, bring it to my ironing station, and I like to press it with the iron. It's just crisper that way. Now let's see, I'm gonna do this strip, but I want it a little skinnier. So I'm going to come in and do this. Now, for me, it just adds some interest to have the strips different lengths. This one, it almost reads as a solid. It's too wide for me. So I'm going to match up this edge down here to hide a little bit of that fabric. And we'll go back to the machine. You can lock stitch if you want to. It's going to get sewn again anyways. All right, and now I'm gonna go back over here and press it. I'm just gonna leave that fabric strip there. It won't bother anybody. You don't have to cut it away. Now I'm gonna do, let's see. Maybe I should keep with this color scheme. Let's see what else I've got in my dwindling scrap pile. Oh, I've got this one. Oh, I've got some Anna Maria. I could cut up some of this fabric. Let's try this. So I need it to just go off the edge of my square here. This square, you can make it any size you want. I always start bigger so that I can trim the coaster down after I'm done adding the strips. So mine is 6.5 by 5.5 at the moment. And it's only that size because that's what I found in my scrap pile. So literally it can be any size you want it to be. All right, now I'm gonna Place this one right sides together, and I'm going to match up that edge. If you need to pin, absolutely you can do that. Bring it back over. Let's give it a quick press. I love the smell of this stuff, so I'm going to spray it. Okay, so there's that one. Now this has some blue in it. So let me see if I've got... I don't want anything too flashy, but I want some interest. Let's see what we've got here. I just go by my gut instincts on these things. There's no right or wrong with a project like this. Let's do these. I'm gonna do that one, and then I'll do the last bit with this. Okay, so now this one, right sides together, matching that raw edge, and it's off both sides of that foam. And I will take it to the machine. Just give me 1 second. There we are. Now we're going to press this. That with my little iron. And I think this one will cover it, so we'll line that up one last time. Bring it over. Okay, so now it's covered. Now what I like to do is I trim it on all sides, just getting close to the foam. It doesn't have to be perfect here. This is not our final trim. This just makes it easier to work with. See how cute that's looking already? Now we need a backside fabric. So I'm just going to use this because I've got it available. And we'll go right here. Cut and cut. It's this easy, I tell you. I'm going to press it really quick. Oh, Vicky's leaving me. See you later. Okay, so we've got these right sides together. And we're just going to pick one of the sides to keep open, and we're going to sew around the rest of the sides. So I'll use my pen. A lot of times I'll use red pins when I'm pinning a project together to remind myself. It's like a mini stop sign, see? Like this is what I mean. Red there and red here. And then we can sew around the rest of the edges. Let's go to the machine. I'm gonna start here. Now do lock stitch here, and also sometimes I run off my corners a bit so that I'm sure my corners are really strong and tight. This is what I mean. See how that's been sewn multiple times? I'm gonna back it up a bit. Okay. There we go. Running off a bit. Here I'm coming up to my pin. Okay. Now we'll go back over here. And I need some scissors. I'm just gonna grab these. And I'm gonna trim all these corners. Less bulk. And then what I'll do is I'm gonna trim down some of this seam allowance as well. If your machine doesn't like sewing foam, you can always omit the foam and just use the 505 spray and slip it in later or keep it out of the seams. If you use the 505, it'll stay in place. So it's absolutely fine if you don't want it in your seams. It's personal preference. All right, let's turn it right sides out carefully. Hopefully I don't rip any stitches. And I like to use my easy point and press tool to get my corners out in a small project like this. It really, really does help because my fingernails are just not small enough to, you know, get it that corner pointy. Gets it pretty good though. I wouldn't be that mad at that. Okay, now I'm going to come in with a ball. That's what's on the end of this thing. It's like 2 different sizes of ball tips, and they help get the corners out. All right, let's make sure our seams are sitting underneath and give it a good press. I'm going to starch it again. And on this side. And now I just need to close this opening. So I gently, let me show you a little trick. When you're dealing with not a huge seam allowance, I think I've shown this before, but I can't remember. I will often just put a little piece of double-sided sticky tape. I'm gonna hit it with an iron quick. That helps it adhere quicker because I'm kind of impatient. There, comes right off. And then fold these ends in. I need to put this guy under here. There, that side is stuck to it. And this side is about to be stuck. There. Now you can ladder hand stitch this if you're a super perfectionist to get that seam perfect. But as you know, I am absolutely not a perfectionist. I like to get it done. However, you know what would be cute? Is if we stuck in a little tag to tag. And I've got a bunch here from back in the day when I sold my goods. Everything had a tag on it. And I've never thrown them away because you never know what the future may bring. So I'm going to open that just a smidge and get my tag in there. I probably should have put it more towards a corner, but that's all in hindsight. I guess my next ones can be in the corner. Okay, it's sticking in there because of the double-sided sticky tape. This, I'm just gonna throw a quick clip in here because I wanna know where I can stop sewing. Although, you know, I suppose I could top stitch all the way around the edge. That's not wrong either. Let's take it to the machine. Now this, we can make our stitching a little bit bigger if you want. It's personal preference. Yeah, might as well just keep going. Little top stitch action. You could also quilt it if you want to quilt it. Be my guest. That'd also be pretty. Coming up here to my corner. There. See what I mean? I should have had that like sitting up here further, but that's okay. So there is your cute little coaster, no binding needed. And it's so fast, it's a scrap buster. You can quilt it on the top if you want to. I could even do that now. You could quilt in the ditch, which is where those seams meet. You could quilt it all throughout. You could practice your free motion. You know, sky's the limit. You can make it any old size you want to as well. I did forget to trim it down to a 5-inch square. I'm just now remembering that. But I don't care. You don't have to. It can be any size. Usually in the past, when I sold these in a set, I needed them all the same size. So before I put the backing fabric on, I would trim them all to 5 by 5 or 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, because then I can sew and the coaster ends up being about 5 by 5. This one is 5 1/2 by 5, so it's very close. All right, that's it. I just wanted to bring you a nice and easy sewing project that you can do any old time. You just need a little pick-me-up. As you can tell, it's very fast, so if you only have 10 minutes to sew, but it makes you feel better, do one of these. At the end of the week, maybe you'll have 20 coasters, and you can put them all in a mismatchy set and take them to a craft show, bundled with a cute ribbon and a tag that says no two are alike. What a cool gift that would be. Housewarming gift. I don't know, make them bigger. You could make these into burp cloths for a baby shower event if you wanted to. Placemats, you can do the exact same thing for placemats. You could do the exact same technique for a table runner or a table quilt. Have you seen those in the middle of a table? My mom makes a lot of those. They're cute. So just explore and have fun. Whatever you decide, you're right. All right, I will see you soon. Peace, love, sewing.